There we
Okay.
go.
Hi,
Awesome.
I'm Sharon Runge. I'm the executive director for Kenya Connect, and I'm really grateful to Matt because he already set the stage for our work in terms of education in Kenya and some of the challenges that our students face. I also want to share that I'm an alum of UNH, class of '83, so I'm really happy to be connected back with UNH. And I think it's wonderful that there's this kind of program available for students. So Kenya Connect works with 62 public schools in rural Kenya. We're located about 2.5 hours south of Nairobi. Our community is one of families that are subsistence farmers, which means they have small plots of land that they farm. We're known as the Wamunya woodcarvers. So a lot of the wood carvings that you find throughout Kenya come from our area. And a lot of the moms do basket weaving and other small business kinds of things. Similar to what Matt shared, most of our community's families live on less than $2 a day. As he said, primary school is free. However, there are still school fees attached. So sometimes students can't go to school. They don't have the proper uniform or haven't paid their fees. And for secondary schools, there are community-based secondary schools that families pay small fees for. However, they really are very under-resourced, barely enough teachers, actually no supply. So we're working in a community to really strengthen education from working in public schools versus building a model school and building that way. And we affect improving education by breaking down barriers and some of the things that you've heard before about girls not having menstrual pads, lack of clean water, lack of clean sanitation are things that we work on to help keep kids in school. So a few years ago, we started our own reusable sanitary pad program. So local women are making the pads, which means they get income so they can feed their children and send them to school. And our girls are getting a kit that can be reused, and we do training along with it. So we do things to break down barriers. The thrust of our work is really to enrich and empower education. And we do it through an extensive literacy program and also a pretty broad and it's growing technology program. Kenya is becoming the tech hub for East Africa, but especially in our community, families don't have computers. I mean, they don't even have TVs. Most of them don't have electricity in their homesteads, which means our students in the rural village are really left behind. So, when it comes to literacy in June, and it was pretty darn exciting, we opened the first community library for about 100 miles. It's got 30,000 books, and we're now doing Saturday story times. We do lit clubs, we have a lit mom program, and we also have a mobile library program where our magic school bus, as we like to call it, takes out books to 30 of our partner schools every other week so kids can actually check out books, which is a very new concept for our rural community. With computing, we're starting to bring Chromebooks to the classroom because one of the things the Kenyan government did was in the new curriculum, they want students to know how to use a computer in the 4th grade, and they want them to learn how to code in 5th grade. But in our partner schools, there are absolutely no devices, nor do the teachers know how to use them. So our staff is doing training on computing. We're bringing the Chromebooks out to the classroom, and the kids are just taking it to it like it's unbelievable to watch. We've also just started a partnership with the Raspberry Pi Foundation. So they're also helping us look at physical computing so students can become like the innovators and creators of jobs in Kenya, coming from our rural village. This past year, we had a team from UNH come in June. It was absolutely fabulous. In the picture, you see Anj, who is a social work student. She was part of a Saturday story time. But the thrust of her work and the team from UNH was looking at our girl-boy empowerment program. And we created this in response to what happened during the pandemic. In Kenya, schools were closed for 9 months during the pandemic. completely closed. And for our rural village, where students didn't have access to computers or TVs for additional learning, they were just wandering around basically. We did some programs that we were allowed to do by the Kenyan government, but basically students really lost a lot. And in our county, there were 3,964 pregnancies from March until June. And when we dug down into it and went to all our partner schools, we found out that actually 98 girls in a 3-month period became pregnant at our schools, including 26 in primary school, which means students K through 8. And as we did interviews with students and teachers trying to understand a little bit more about pregnancies and maybe why this occurred, we found that a large portion of these were done non-consensual relationships, girls not really knowing how you got pregnant, and girls exchanging sex for either sanitary pads or food. And so we knew we needed to do something. And so the team this summer helped us kind of craft some of the program and give guidance, especially on a parent component that we're going to be doing with the program. And we also connected with Southeastern Kenya University, which is one of the universities in our area, so we can do some work on this project and other programs with them. So if any of you are interested, we'd love more people to be part of the Girl Boy Empowerment Program and to help us shape that program, and also an advocacy portion where we want to do a lot of public media campaigns on the issue, especially of perpetrators and how it goes undealt with. Perpetrators, you exchange a goat, if you've made a girl pregnant and it all goes away, but it really doesn't go away because the girl is left with a child with no income to take care of it, and it just continues that cycle of poverty. Another thing that we could use help with is our Wamunyu Special School. One of our 62 partner schools is a school that works with children with special needs, and it's in incredible disrepair right now. We could use students, especially in the health fields, that might help with assessments and screenings, those that might be interested in helping with some vocational tech programs for these students, education students, and students that just really have a heart and an interest in participating with the Wamunyu Special School. And it's a residential school, so there's a lot of needs that could go there. Students who may be education students or in those kinds of areas, we have team members come over and do classroom lessons with us, kind of modeling 21st century learning, where it's hands-on, engaging, interacting, encouraging students to critically think, be creative, do problem solving. We have the Saturday Storytime program, and we have a makerspace. So we'd love students to help us with STEM activities. Any of the students in the health fields, in our area, there's very few resources for any kind of health screening or even health workshops. So there's a lot of women, most of our women don't know about self-breast exams and how that can help prevent, or be an early sign for cancer. We need work in child maternal health, just raising awareness about diabetes and high blood pressure and doing screenings for those. So we'd love to have some health students. And finally, because we're in an agriculture area, we're trying to do some projects that generate income for our families and our schools, including looking at moringa trees. So we've been growing moringa trees, which is a tree that has super high nutritional content, and you can grind up the leaves and put it in a stew. You can use it for tea or just as a nutritional supplement. We've just started a beehive program, beekeeping, with some of our moms who participate in our Lip Moms program. So we're generating honey. And then we also have composting toilets. So we have great compost that we're using for the moringa trees. But it's a great way to, instead of having really awful pit latrines, our compost toilets are great because they don't smell, there's no flies, and we get this super nutrient rich compost. So, we'd love students in agriculture or engineering who might also be on that. So We've got a range of activities we'd love to have another team go over. I know that John DeJoy, a social work faculty, has been working closely with us. So you're welcome to contact me. I'm on the screen, or John, and we can provide more information.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Okay, so thank you, Sharon. We're gonna move to the next one, and we'll have time after